Morning everyone, Frank and Sharon here. We got some exciting news for you. We've actually purchased a gold mine. We've been exploring mines for years and years, and we've always wanted to have our own mine to be able to go in there and fix it up. And it'd be really cool because we can put all these artifacts that we've collected from these hundreds of mines we've been into and set them all and have a working mine up, and we can take you, the viewer, into the mine. We'll show you how this mine works. And to be honest, so what we own is the land around this mine. It was a fair sized mine that was last operated in 1937, and we own the 27 acres where the mine was. We don't own the mineral rights. We're not planning on mining it, so that makes it a lot easier. You can kind of do whatever you want with the hole in the ground. If you're mining, there's no money left there. The gold's gone pretty much. So we're just interested in the historical aspect of it. So we'll show you what we're up to. Here are some 3D images of the mine, thanks to Tyler Mitchell, actually, that generated these for us. So it's kind of interesting. There's 5 levels, and you can kind of see where they are stacked on top of each other and kind of roughly in the area. The black is the main hall level. At the very bottom, it's yellow in this one. So in this last graphic, actually, there's 2 copies of the main hall level, so it's kind of a screw up. The yellow on top is not the right one. The red one on the bottom is the main hall level. So 5 levels, pretty cool to see it all in 3D like that. So here's some pictures that Sharon took. That's the adit there. So we had to work all this stuff out there, and had to take the old door out and all this rock and stuff. And we're, like you say, we're completely retimbering this whole thing to make it safe for you guys to go into. The rail's still in there. The air lines are in there, but it's a smaller rail and it's kind of rusty. So here's the hole when they dropped it off in the low bed there, and we started working with it, and we're getting lots of work done in the mine with the hole and doing all the roads and making parking lot and all that stuff for you guys to come visit us. So yeah, lots of burning to do. Most of it's probably mental. You don't like dark places that are wet and you're claustrophobic. You have a bunch of phobias and stuff. It's not going to be the place for you. So we have a lot of work to do before we can have this mine open and safe for you guys to come visit it. So standing behind me is a big pile of timber that we've cut. We've got our own band mill. These are all 8x8 timbers. There's about 1,000 lineal feet of them. And we're going to need this to shore up the whole mine and make it safe for you guys to go into. If you want to see what this mine looked like 5 years ago, it was one of the first mines we ever explored. It's called Number 5. It's the Yankee Boy Mine, and it's the 5th episode in our video. So here's the link to it. We're going to need a lot of wood to finish this mine and all the buildings, and we're planning on building a gravity tram. The railway needs to be reconstructed. So here's some of the wood that we've cut. Luckily, there's lots of wood on the site, big fir trees and pine trees we'll show you. These are our ties for the railway, so we have to redo the tracks and have that all in the mine. And the reason we want to redo the tracks is because we're going to have our working equipment inside the mine, the mucker, drills and all that kind of stuff, so we can show you, just exactly how mines work and have it all operating and as authentic as it can possibly be. Okay, what you're looking at is we're going to build quite a few buildings up there to house all our displays and stuff. So these are our bases for 2 buildings. So these are 12 by 20 platforms that buildings will be built on top of. We'll skid it up there and put a whole bunch of stuff in there. And then we're going to have like a boardwalk in the front of it, and be like an old western town. So one of the highlights of this is going to be we're going to build an operating tram. This is a bull wheel from an operating tram. We have all the parts to build. The only operating tram that we know of in Canada. So it's a gravity tram. That's about a 6-foot bull wheel. This is actually the brake for the tram. So we're just going to quickly go through and show you some other stuff that we're going to have set up for this mine when we have it all done here. So we're going to go in the museum here and show you some of the stuff that we're going to have set up that's operating inside the mine. These are the other parts of the tram. So these are the buckets for the tram, and there's the brake lever and stuff. So we have everything for this tram. It's a gravity operated tram. The other thing is like it's either a man lift or a material lift where you could take lumber and stuff up the tram. So the way this gravity tram works, we have one partially set up here. We can show you. So this is a true two-rope tram. You can see on top there's one cable, and that's a small cable. It actually has a far larger cable when we set up this tram. And it's called a track cable, so it just stays there, it's stationary. That cable doesn't move, and the idlers just roll back and forth on it. And the other cable that's lower down is hooked to that big bull wheel. That is what actually controls the tram. So these trams, or this one, is not going to be powered. It's a gravity tram, so the weight of the full bucket brings the empty bucket up from the bottom of the tramway. So what we're planning on doing is these tracks are going to come out of the mine with these cars, and it'll dump into a bin similar to that, the ore, and then the tram will be loaded from the bin and it'll go further down the mountain. So it'll be all operating as it would have been. Trams were really common between about 1900 and 1920. Didn't use them much after that because motor vehicles and cats and stuff like that were more common, and they could build roads to get to the mines instead of using trams. All right, so we got a lot of stuff in our museum, and we're not going to get into that. We'll put a link in the description if you want to see the whole tour of the museum. We're just going to show you the stuff that we're going to have set up in the mine for you guys to see. So this is our mucker. It's an Air EMCO 12B mucker, and it's fully functional. Here's one of the motors that work. We have working motors in here. This is an air-operated locomotive. It works. We just need to put the air tank on it. So we're going to have that in the mine, and this will be our locomotive. It fills up full of air, and then we have quite a few ore carts and stuff like that. This is a steam-operated. It runs on compressed air. It's a little giant hoist. So we're going to have a shaft going down. We're going to have a head frame for it. Some of these ore buckets, we can hook them up to that shaft, and you guys can see how that works. We have operating drills. This is a drill. We can have that set up in the mine also. And then, so the other thing, we have quite a few carts and operating drills and all this kind of stuff. We'll have that all set up underground. And this will be like a fully functioning mine, but we won't actually be removing any minerals, but all the stuff will be there and it'll be all operating. So to power to the mine stuff here, we have a compressor. This is an old Sullivan compressor back from the 1950s, and it had a 216 engine in it, old Chevy engine in it. It was all seized up and stuff, so we're taking it all apart, and we have a 250 Chevy engine, a little newer vintage, and we're going to put that in that air compressor, so that will provide air into the mine. So it'll be just like a real working mine. It'll have compressed air in it, and then we can run our mucker, our air-operated equipment, and stuff like that. So we still have a lot of work before we can get all this stuff done. So the property is very steep, so we bought a Cat 300 excavator. We'll show you the property and give you just a kind of a quick overview of the mine and what's all going to be involved in getting this set up and running. And it's a lot of work. Some of this stuff, like this cart, for instance, was pulled by mules a long time ago, but it's on a different gauge. It's a 24 gauge, so we wouldn't be able to have that in the mine. So we're going to have a lot more buildings and stuff like that outside, where we'll have some of these other static displays, and hopefully we're going to be able to get an electric locomotive, also 24 gauge, that we can show you guys. One of the first things that we had to do when we bought the property is we knew we had to get an excavator, because we just got so much rock and stuff to move to do the roads and stuff. So, you know, there's no real flat ground here. It's pretty steep here, so we're having to put the roads and the building sites and stuff, you know, where the rock isn't. So you can see there's a big wall of rock all along here that starts here right where the mine is. So that's as far as we can go that way, unless you want to do a bunch of blasting, which we don't. It just gets too expensive. So this is where we're going to build all our buildings for displays and stuff along the mine. We got some softer stuff we can dig out in the bank here, and then we'll just kind of fill in the lower areas and make some more level areas here. Worked out pretty good, because actually the previous owners paid us $10,000 to do a bunch of the work just to get the well to sell us the property. So yeah, so it's kind of one of my favorite pieces of equipment, and it's worked out really good for us. So we're going to show you inside the mine and give you an idea what it is that we really need to do to get this safe and get it opened up for people to come visit it. Lots of work to do in here to get it all stabilized and timbered up. This is about all that remains of you know, the original part of the mine. This is where the compressor shed was, so we're going to kind of leave this here. Huge pile of waste rock here, and you know, like, we're going to use a lot of this material for roads and whatnot, you know, to do everything we need to do here for the mine. So we're thinking probably we're going to have the tram here somewhere. You know, so lots of trees. We had to push over quite a few trees and whatnot. Good thing about having the excavator is you can just push them over and then saw the stumps off. So this wood we'll have to either use for firewood or use it for our mill to saw up for lumber, the bigger stuff. So the other piece of equipment that we have that is really going to help us out here is this Army 6x6. So yeah, it's a 5-ton truck. So Sharon drives that, so he does pretty good on it. So we have to use that for moving rock around. The nice thing is we've got all this cool rock, waste rock from the mine.
Back up.
So originally there was the old door here, but we had to take that out of there. There's just huge rocks and stuff in here, and we actually used the excavator with a cable to pull the mount. So the door would have been all destroyed anyway. So we got about 100 feet here of stuff that's fairly unstable. So what we're going to do is we got all those timbers, and we're going to totally timber all this up. So we got to have timbers up here, so none of this stuff you know, can fall down or anything like that. It's got to be totally solid for people to come in here. So all this has to be totally secured. Oh, there's a rat. We got to kill the rats too. So if you guys like rats, too bad. They ain't staying in here. They got to go. Yeah, it's you. You're going to go. As you can see, all this hanging rock and stuff, it totally needs to be secured. And there was, at one time there was some stalls and some timber in here, but it's all rotted and burnt or whatever. And then we need to dig all this out, so we might try to get a slusher in here that we got and dig it out. If not, we could do it all by hand. So we've done a fair bit of work in here to make it so you can get in here pretty easy. Like Sharon built this nice wall along here, and you can see this beautiful hanging wall here, and all this stuff has to be all secured. As we head further back in here, and this is another case where we dug this out before, and then just more of this stuff slid down, so we don't want to dig any more till we get this totally timbered up. And we'll timber it up, and then we'll just shovel all this loose stuff out of here. Yeah. Okay. There was actually a big winds in here, but we filled it right up with the rock that was in here. So it's pretty easy to walk in here now. Like this was all, we had to climb over all this stuff and it was collapsed. So once we get back about this far, the mine is solid. There's nothing we need to do once we're this far back, other than we need to get this water out of here. And this proved to be difficult. This calcite is really hard, so we got to jackhammer it out of there. And it's not much further down to the track, so you can see the track right there. So we got to shovel it down. You know, there's not that much water anymore. There was like 1.5 feet, 2 feet of water in here. So we got to shovel it right down to the track, clean it up. And then this part here, I think the track should be good. We should be able to get our equipment and stuff in here. And there's nothing really we need to do to this part here. It's all in really good shape. So just a lot of cleanup and stuff. Now, like I say, not that much water in here anymore compared to what there was, but we need to drain the rest of the water out of here and have it dry. So this branch here goes back not too far, so it's going to need a bunch of stalls in here, and we'll just we're not going to timber all of it up. This is pretty solid here, but we're going to have to stall it, clean it up, get the water drained out of here. So we're going to make a little room in here. And probably set up some square set in here so you guys can see how square set work. And you know, you can see some of the mineralization was quartz and stuff in here. It's all oxidized here now. So we'll clean all this up. So we got a nice big room in here. So we're probably going to have like a square set in here. Set it all up, and then we can have I don't know, a bunch of things we could have in here. Maybe a mineral display. These are some of the minerals that are fluorescent in our display. They look pretty cool under a black light. So you're looking at calcites, fluorites, and some silver. So pretty cool to see them in a dark environment. Some minerals got different ideas. So I'll have a little room in here. So it'll be kind of cool. So we like to try to display as much stuff underground as we can. The rocks and minerals are a good thing to display underground because you don't have to worry about them getting wet. But this should be all dry. By the time we're done with it, we should be able to get this dry and have it stay dry. A lot of this stuff here can be moved out here pretty easy. We can dig all out of there. But we just have to secure all this, timber it up, whatever we need to do to make this all. This isn't, it's not really unstable, but it's not stable either. So we'll have to see what we can do with this. And then, okay, so this branch here only goes, we only got, I'm not sure, I haven't even measured this, but I think it only goes back about 300 feet or so. The mine goes back way further than that, but it's collapsed. We'll show you where. And so we need to do some work on this. So the reason we're having to get the track all in here, so we've got to bring our ore carts back in here, and we have to remove a blockage here. So you can see, you can hear your own voice here. It's really solid in this part. So we've got no concerns about the stability of the rock in here. We wouldn't have to do anything with this part. So once the water drained out of here, you might have to clean up a bit of calcite from the track. Pretty minimal amount. There's not that much water in here. So it's kind of cool. I mean, the track, there was way more water in here. You see it way up on the ribs there, how high the water was at one time. But we chipped out as much calcite as we could to get the water to drain out of here. And there's still water coming down here, so you can see the water running here. We might even be able to use that for drinking water. We'll see what it's like, what the quality of the water's like, and where we don't really know where it's even coming from. So we'll get back here a ways, and then there's a split back here. This one to the right, it doesn't go that far. It goes into a winds and stuff. We're not going to take you down there, but we'll show it to you in the future videos. But this is the other kind of major project that we have to do in here. We're in probably about 300 feet here, but it goes in about 900 or so. So when we first came here and explored this, there's a shaft here that was collapsed, and we know the mine goes about another 600 feet past this, and there's levels above this. But we couldn't get to it, so we just thought we'd try shoveling some of this out. But what happened, more material just kept coming down. So we've decided this is kind of a waste of our time to keep shoveling this stuff out of there, because more gravel or this fine stuff just comes down. So what we're going to do is we're going to clean all this out of here and build an ore chute in here. Then we can just bring our car, or one of our cars, our mine cars, right back here and just shovel it right into the car.
or with a chute, right? So we can clean this up a lot easier. We might even get the mucker in here to muck all this out, and we don't know whether we're going to have to do it all by hand. You know, there's a fair bit of material here. We spent a lot of time digging this. Then we got some video, but we can show it to you later. But yeah, so we got to clean all this stuff out of here, and then we're just going to keep going until there's no more material coming down. So it's about 200 feet up to the top of the mine, to the higher levels, and we know there's levels between here and there, and who knows what's there. So that's just going to be really exciting, opening that up and getting further back on this level and back to the back level. So basically that's what we all got planned here to open this up and show it to you guys. And the idea is when this is all finished, it's going to be totally stable and it'll be safe for people to go in here. So that's we've got quite a bit of work to do all this stuff. So we'll be working this winter to get this all stabilized. So we could take some people in here maybe in the springtime. I mean, we won't have everything all done, but at least this part of it will be. We're anxious to get in here and spend a bunch of time in here this winter, getting this all set up, ready to go. And so hopefully, some of you guys will be able to come and visit this and see all this mining equipment that we have and have it all on display. And this will be as close as you get into a real working mine. This is going to be a lot of work, but we're going to have a lot of fun doing this also. So this is what I've always kind of wanted to do. Every time I'm in a mine, I always kind of fantasize about being working in here and fixing it all up and having your own mine. So we're also going to build a house up here. So we're planning on selling the house that we have in Grand Forks and moving up here. As you can see, there's just a beautiful view from. This is what the view looks like from where we're going to build our house, so that'd be pretty cool. So we're going to take you for a quick tour the mine here. So this is coming onto the property here, so we're just doing a little bit of clearing here. The Hardy Mountain Road is below us, and you can see we had to do quite a bit of work there, just get all these roads and stuff in there. Part of the problem is there's a lot of solid rock there, so unless you want to do a bunch of blasting, you have to kind of work around that. But the big advantage, you got all this waste rock from the mine. There's a huge pile of waste rock you can see there, and there's the mine. So this is where we're going to build a house. It's the higher bench up there where you got quite a bit more excavating to do to make that flatter and build a road up and through the back there. But we keep working on it. So yeah, this is another view from where the house is going to be. And it should be a pretty nice view there. Get lots of sun in the morning and shade in the afternoon. It's pretty hot in Grand Forks. And then looking towards the mine there from the house, it's not that far. Just past where the hoe is there, we'll build a little road in there, and that's where the mine is. You can see the mine in the picture there. So it's about 200 feet up to the higher workings of the mine, and we'll show them to you in later videos. From the bottom hall level, it's 200 feet up there. So you see in this big rocky kind of a cliff at the very top. So there's actually 4 adits up there. It's pretty scabby in there. A lot of rock has fallen in and stuff in there. But from there's a shaft going straight down to the bottom of the mine. So all the ore in the later years went through this big shaft down there. So we know there's we have the drawings and stuff. We know there's intermediate levels. So it'll be pretty exciting starting from the bottom, cleaning up all the rock out of the shaft and going up to the shaft, and then we'll probably build ladders and stuff where we can actually go all the way through it. So with the platforms and stuff, the way the miners would have been when they were mining it. So and also we got lots more videos coming up. We'll show you more detailed stuff of the mine and explain everything and show you what we're doing there. And we'll probably make it so we'll have one video 1 week of exploring the mine, and then another week maybe a kind of an update on what we're doing in there. So so lots of cool stuff. We'll show you how the mill works, a bit more about the equipment, the mines, and then we're going to get into doing the timbering. We've got to retimber and do the square set, do the mucking and all the different steps required, and we'll dig more into that kind of stuff, and should be pretty interesting. We'll have lots of fun, and we'll maybe have some volunteers that come up. If some people want to kind of help us out with some of the different aspects of that. In the summertime, I think we're going to have a place where people can camp there, maybe bring a trailer or whatever up there. If they want to spend some time up there and hang out with us and do some work there. So I'm glad you guys dropped by, and I hope you enjoyed it, and we'll see you next week from another mine up in the Sandon area.
Hi everyone, thanks for joining us this week. We have a show every week, so we'll see you next week. Check out our new merch page. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Music is by the Adits.